Welcome to Abby's Den. I'm Abby. This is a Janome 9200D. It's also my naked overlocker, which I've actually put the plastic cover back on because I know one or two of you messaged me and asked me to show you how to thread it up. It is a tricky one to do, and I've gone through the instructions just to double check to see how Janome actually do the threading up. And funnily enough, in picture, if you go to page 32 of the manual, in this picture here, they show you a gadget that they actually use to thread up the machine. The funniest thing is they don't provide you with the two gadgets that they recommend that you use. So even though I've got them, I will show you the two methods using those gadgets. I'll also show you the alternative method, because I believe if you buy an overlocker, they should either give you the proper tools to thread up the machine, or it should be an easy and straightforward thing to do. So let's start. Let's start with the threads at the top. We're going to do the loopers first. So that's these two here. These two are the needles. Now in the Singer and the Brother overlockers, you would thread up the loopers left, right with the needles. So you would do them in a different sequence. With Janome machines, you would always start with the furthest right. So you do actually start all the way from the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you do that in that order. Make sure all our tension discs are on the default settings. That's at 3. I've lifted the presser foot. Remember, the tension discs will open. So these tension discs are all open when the presser foot's up. If the presser foot's down, the tension discs squeeze together, and that's when the machine is ready to operate. So make sure that the presser foot is up when you start. So the furthest right is the lower looper. So that's the pink thread here, and we need to make sure that we go over this hook here at the top, bring the thread from behind and bring it through that hole there. When we get down to the bottom, we're going to go through the top hole from the back to the front, swing it round and go back to the back and to the front like that. And then we can bring the thread through the channel there. And make sure you pull it down firmly so that the thread sits between those tension discs, and hook that thread around this guide here. We're going to use these guides on the front of the machine here. And if I bring that thread down, I need to catch all the guides with the green dot. For the first go, I'm going to show you without the gadgets. Now I'm going to tilt the machine around slightly so you can see what's going on. And what I will find easier to do if you're new to this is I'm going to disengage the knife so it's clearly out of the way from use. And I'm actually going to take the foot off this machine. So press the button at the back like that, and that releases the foot. You may need to lift up the press foot a little bit to help remove the foot. Now you do get a pair of tweezers with your machine. So I'm going to pull on this thread. So that's the pink thread. I'm following the green guide. I'm going to place that thread between that guide there, and then I've got to feed the thread through these two guides there, and then through this guide here like that, and then pull that thread nice and taut. Now the next guide is actually hiding behind that knife. This is where it gets really fiddly. I'm going to turn the machine round. Hopefully you can see this guide just there. And I need to feed with the tweezers that thread through the guide. There we go, we're through. Now what we need to do is go to the other side of the machine. So I'm going to bring that looper out to the furthest point I can. I'll grab the thread and feed it through that guide there. Can you see? And then I need to make sure I hold on to that and push the looper using the hand wheel all the way around and I can see the thread on this side. Let's catch it on that side there. The thread comes out with you. Okay, so you can see that's nice and taut now. Place that thread through the eye of the looper. There we go, like that. And then you can just lift it above, because the knife and the foot aren't in the way. You can lift it up and then push it to the back. Okay, so that's taken me a good 10 minutes to do that. Let's go for the yellow thread. So that's the upper looper. I'll grab the thread, hook it above the thread stand like that. The top hole of this section here, go back and through the lower hole and grab that. Just check again, press the foot is up so it releases the tension discs, and bring it straight down and then through the guide here. Once that's done, it's simply that guide there over this guide here like that, and then through the looper. So that's the upper looper now, because that's the one top. Grab that under the foot spring and to the back. A nice long thread going to the back. Now the needle ones, again, they go to the top. Oops. Top hole, round through the bottom hole. There we go. Through the channel down there, round, whoops, up and around. Now on this side, I'm going to pull the needle thread, the right needle through there, and then I'm going to swing this thread around this guide. I'll do it with the tweezers so my fingers aren't in the way. Around that guide there and through the needle. There we go. Push it to the back, and then let's do the same with the blue thread, and that's the left needle. There we go. And then on the left hand side of that guide, the guide above the needles. Like that. There we go. Now you can see all the threads feed through nicely and smoothly, like that. So once all that's done, I'm going to position the knife. So I'm going to push the furthest back dial, push that in, and it should allow the knife to come all the way back up to the top. So that's re-engaged and it will work and cut the fabric for me. I will have the foot back on. Make sure the threads are out of the way. Lift that presser foot and clamp the foot back into position. And there we go. Make sure the threads haven't been trapped in there. Just scoop them over to the side and under the foot and to the back, like that. And there they are. So they are nicely out of the way. Let's close that door. Let's close that door. And let's have a go. And there we go. Done.